Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk to you about inserting shapes and lines into your PowerPoint slide as design elements for your report. Now, I love using basic shapes and lines and different variations on a page. It gives the design of the report kind of a sleek and professional feel. You don't have to use any of the built-in PowerPoint templates or any other report templates because you can really easily create your own and they look really professional, and nobody really realizes that you're just inserting a bunch of lines or squares or shapes or triangles on the page. So, this is one of my reports here in PowerPoint, and you can see that we have the PowerPoint slides laid out and set out as a sort of report dimensions, that letter size 8.5 by 11. But look as I click through, like all of these things are clearly shapes. Look at one of the cool things about PowerPoint is that you can hide objects off the side of the page and they won't show up on the actual page when you look over here in that slide sorter view. So this is just one big rectangle that I inserted on the page and placed in kind of a strategic way to go over the report title. Similarly, this header bar right here, it's just a shape, it's just a square, and it's just a rectangle. So you can use PowerPoint shapes as graphic design elements and really give your PowerPoint report or your PowerPoint slide a really professional feel. I'm just going to show you a little bit about how you can do this in your own report. And I'm just going to insert a new slide here. It's probably what you would sort of expect to see right here. You get this blank slide, and I'm just going to go up to the Insert tab on the ribbon and right here to the Shapes drop-down. And you have a whole slew of different kinds of shapes that you can possibly use, but let's just be basic and use that rectangle shape. You're going to click on that, and then your cursor turns into a square, which means it's just going to ask you to start drawing that shape. And so you hold down your mouse and click, and then when you release, you've created your rectangle. Now, of course, you can just take, when your shape is activated, you can take the arrows on any of these little side buttons here and just drag it to make it lower or higher. You can go all the way down to the page if you wanted to, but I just want to create a nice header bar. So I'm going to go up here, and we'll take this one all the way to the top of the slide. Perfect. Now, if you wanted to have text on top of it, there are a few different ways that you can sort of operationalize this. So the easiest way probably that most people do is just put the text box on top of the shape. So I'm just going to say, title of my report here. And I'm going to go ahead and actually turn, what I want to do is I want to put this text inside my box, my header row above. So I'm going to just resize the text box a little bit, and I'm going to drag it up. Oh, there's something interesting happening here. The text box actually goes behind the box, the rectangle object that I placed in, but you don't have to worry about that. PowerPoint objects are always placed on a layer, on kind of a layer system. So each new object you put onto the slide, it creates a new layer on top of the previous object or text box that you had. So all you need to do is arrange those layers so that they work to your advantage. So right now, this rectangle is on the top layer of my PowerPoint slide, and I want it to be on the bottom layer. I want it to be behind the text. So all I do in that instance is I'm going to activate the text, the triangle, or the rectangle, sorry, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go ahead, and down here it says bring to front or bring to back, and I want to send it all the way to the back. So I'm going to click on that. And when I do that, you can see that the text box is now on top of my sort of rectangle header, and that's what I really want to do. Now I want the text to be formatted a little bit differently here, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that and turn the text white, so that looks like a beautiful report header. Now you can format the shape to any way you want. Just right click and then go to Format Shape here for that rectangle header. I don't want there to be a line or an outline around the shape, so I'm going to go ahead and click No Line in the Format Shape tools, the Format Shape dialog box over here. And then you can see the color. It's this sort of fuchsia color, but we could actually change it to any color we wanted to. Just change the fill color to red, change the fill color to green, change the fill color to blue. Super nice. Now, if all of your reports, all of your report pages had a header like this, it would look really sleek and nice. You could also, let's make maybe a footer. I'm going to do the same thing here. insert a rectangle here. Maybe each of your pages you want to have a footer. That would look really nice. I want the color to be consistent, so I'll change the color there and make sure there's no line there. So that looks really nice. And I think these look pretty good, pretty aligned, but just like one of our last videos, I'm going to align these two things because I want them to be perfectly positioned. So I'm going to go ahead and select both of them, and then I'm going to align them to the center. Good, everything is great. Let's see. I could also, let's see if we can do something else here. You can actually see on my report page here, we did this big rectangle here to kind of create a triangle in the bottom of the page. Now, of course, we could probably just do that with a triangle. So let's just delete this and let's make a triangle there. And it's just going to be a right triangle, so I'm going to go to the shapes drop down, and let's see where that right triangle shape is down here, down in basic shapes, the right triangle there, and I'm going to go ahead and insert it into my report. And you can see that it's kind of the opposite direction that I want it to be. So what you're going to do is actually flip it. And when you have this highlighted, you can go up to the Shape Format tab, and you have all these tools here under Arrange. We've already looked at the Arrange tools instead of in terms of Align and Distribute, but you can also rotate shapes here too. You can see this Rotate dialog box, or this Rotate drop-down menu, and you can rotate it 90 degrees, rotate it left, right, vertical flip, horizontal flip, and I just want to do a horizontal flip because I want it to be where it was before. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. Looks awesome. I see that my shape is outlined here. I don't really want it to be outlined, so I'm going to click on No Line. And then there's no line there. And let's see. I'm going to use that same sort of arrange, send to front, send to back sort of tool so that my title can show up again. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to actually this time send it backwards once. So send to back, I'm going to click on the arrow, and then it says send to back or send backwards. So I can either send it back one layer or I can send it all the way to the back layer. And I want to send this back just one layer and see what happens. So I'm just going to click on send backward. And it doesn't look like it really did anything, so I'm going to do it again. Send backward. And there you go. So it had to go back 2 layers before my title would show up. And then, of course, since this is still pretty dark, I'm going to go ahead and update my title text and format it, turn it white right there, so it looks nice and beautiful. So this just gives you an idea of how you can use shapes and lines and those types of things in your PowerPoint slides for your reports to create some nice graphic design moments. You don't have to be a trained graphic designer to look like a trained graphic designer. So I hope you enjoy this, and the next video we're going to talk about using fill color and transparency in your reports to create beautiful titles and photo overlays like this. All right, we'll see you next time.